The reason you're struggling to win games right now in Madden 26 is because your defense keeps selling you. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 defenses that you absolutely need to be using. These are the defenses that the top MCS pros were using in Madden Bowl, and they're still dominating today. I'll show you the best coverages, blitzes, everything you're going to need to dominate in defense. And if you even start using one of these, you're going to see your win rate increase by over 92%. You're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the content I have for you in this video, so let's jump right into it. Alright, that first defense from Dime32 is the one that won Drini the $250,000 MCS ring. Let me break it down for you. Alright, so like I said, that defense here is going to be Dime32. Always want to make sure, right, we have the right coaching adjustments equipped. Talk about those in so many of my defensive tutorials, right? But we're going to come into cover 4 quarters, alright? And here's the defense. It's a loop blitz. And so you always want to make sure that you have auto flip turned off. That's a setting that I don't normally mention because you don't want to turn auto flip off in most situations, but here you do want to turn auto flip off. And that's really just to make sure that this linebacker that's blitzing right here on the right side, he's lined up in the same spot every time. So all you're going to do, you're going to drag him over just so that you can bump him. And so now he's going to stay. He's going to stay right there. And so now you're going to get a loop blitz around through the A gap. And so really what you're trying to see right here is, boom, that you take the snap and you see him loop all the way around that gap and get that pressure on the quarterback. Now, they're an empty protection, right? And so empty protection honestly does a little bit better job of blocking some of these blitzes, but we know that base protection is the most common pass protection type. So in order to get him to stay, right, like you see all your favorite pool players doing, running this blitz, right? They're making sure that they're bumping that man to get him to stay, because if you don't bump him, he'll move back over, as you probably experience when you run this defense. But pass him at the defense. Now, you have to understand this is only a 4-man rush, so it's not like this blitz is going to realistically come in every single time. It's not one of those, but when it does come in, which kind of routinely, honestly, when it does come in, it's a huge advantage because, again, you're only sending 4 people. So, again, boom, he's going to loop all the way around that gap, and then that time we ended up getting a shed. So you can also run the cover 4 quarters match coverage behind this defense. Like, we know that, right? So if you leave all 3 zone drive depth and default, you can run the match coverage behind the blitz. But you're just going to see it how, hopefully we can get it to work this time. Boom, take it, try to move this guard outside, and then he's going to loop around, and that time he gets blocked again. You guys have seen this in a game. You guys have seen me do this in games, right? So this is, all you're trying to do is get that man to loop all the way around, right? You're trying to get him to loop all the way around. There's going to be times where he's going to get blocked by this guard right here, but if he could just loop around and not get picked up by that man, you have a faster player, someone better than number 23, telling you he's just going to loop all the way around that gap and get that quick pressure on the quarterback. But that's not even my favorite part about this defense. Actually, it's the automatic run defense. Because if we call an inside zone run and we call cover 4 quarters again, all you have to do is stand inside the butt of this defensive tackle right here. So pretty much just stand literally right here where you're literally inside of him. And when the offense goes to take the snap, one of you two are going to walk in free. I mean, you see how right there 91 comes in free? Because you're standing literally inside of this guy, right? So the center can only pick one of you, right? So you just run right into his butt, like right here where I'm literally standing inside of him. We also look at the block targeting for the offensive line. There's a flame icon over the top of my user, which means I'm just going to be able to come in free. So honestly, that's the best part about this defense. I mean, you have a run pass tell also, but you have automatic run defense. So again, you just stand literally inside the butt of this man, right? Boom. You unlock. I mean, you're not going to be able to see the flame icon, but you're going to know that the flame icon is now over the top of your user defender. So you're just going to be able to come in free, spam A or spam X on PlayStation to be able to just bring that man down in the backfield. But really, this is the best run defense here in this game, the most consistent, because there's nothing that they can really do, especially when they call inside runs. They draw, or not really draw can kind of counter it, but like inside zone, halfback base, right? Those type of runs. Now there's just a flame icon over your guy. You walk in free, you're tackling this guy before he even has a chance to speed boost. So Dime32 is one of the best defenses in the game because you have that loop blitz from, cover 4 quarters. It's a lot better in the game. It's a little bit worse here in practice mode, but you have that loop blitz from cover 4 quarters, but you also have this automatic run defense here that's super, super dominant. All right, this next defense that I'm about to show you is for sure soon to be the complete defensive meta. It's already starting to take over, and you need to hop on the wave. Let me introduce you to nickel single mug. Alright, so if we come here into nickel 3-3 single mug right here, if you guys played this game at the beginning of the year, you certainly know about this defense, but now it's starting to take over again because, like I told you earlier, the prevalence of base protection, right? So you're going to see how right here they're going to just, I mean, everyone runs base protection, everyone starts the game in it, and everyone wants to adjust their pass protection from base. So if you catch them in base, which is going to be like everyone, like I said, you're going to just be screaming in their backfield with a defense like this. So really all you need to do, spread your defensive line by pressing D-pad left and then left stick up. Then you're going to press RB and then right stick up to pass commit. And so really what you're going to see is, boom, you're just going to get those two looping, rushers right through the A gap, right? That's the advantage that you're able to get from single mug. The reason why single mug kind of fizzled out a little bit was because that was before we had auto base protection in the game, right? And so no one really was using it, and so everyone was kind of using empty protection or pass protection. But now, because you're able to kind of counter their base protection, because everyone's going to use base protection, this is why everyone wants to start using this, or really good players. But like I said, there's not enough people that are using this. You're going to be, when you're playing against stationary quarterbacks, like slow quarterbacks, or even players who really want to pass from the pocket, you're going to essentially eliminate that. They can't do that now because the pocket either collapses too fast for them, or a guy comes in completely clean right up the A gap. So boom, take it, and you're just going to be able to see how that's kind of what I'm talking about, where that time they do a better job of blocking our stunt, right, with the center, credit to him, but the pocket just collapses too fast. There's nowhere really for JJ McCarthy to step up into, and it just makes it really easy pressure. So again, stand right there. You're just going to see how we're going to be able to collapse. I think I put them in empty protection that time. So empty protection, certainly the answer. Like if you're playing offense, that's probably the answer to blocking this. Even though it can still work against empty protection, it's a little bit worse, but you're going to see base protection right here. That's really when I would use this. Boom, take it, and then you're able to see how Josh Allen's going to come in completely free pretty routinely off of that left side, or Trayvon Walker off of the right side is going to come in free. But you're going to say, BLT, what if they block their halfback? That probably just would eliminate this, and you would be wrong by saying that, honestly, because what you're going to see is these running backs are just going to get manhandled. They're going to get overpowered at the point of attack by these pass rushers. So you're just going to see how this time, Josh Allen really doesn't even shed. He kind of just loops around, gets picked up late, and then pushes his way into the quarterback. So again, spread the defensive line, stand at that same spot. They're going to use base protection. They're going to block their halfback right here. Boom, take it. And you're just going to see how that time, again, Aaron Jones doesn't even see that man coming in free right through that gap. So we look at the instant replay, never recognizes him, never even turns to look at him, and now the quarterback's on the ground. So that's why I say blocking their running back isn't really an answer to this blitz. It's not an answer to this pressure because it's not consistent enough. And even if the running back does pick the guy up, he's just going to get manhandled at the point of attack. Now, if what they're going to do, if they're going to start rolling out on you, right, because they understand that they can just do this and they have a fast quarterback who can just escape the pocket, pick up an easy 10 yards, what you're going to do instead is start utilizing the left Texas two-man custom stunt, because that's going to allow you to contain the quarterback off of that right side, his handedness side, but now you're going to be able to stunt still off of the left. And so what you're going to see, base protection right here, boom, take it, contain off of the right, and so then we're just going to be able to get that quick pressure right on that left side. So really, single mug, one of the best defenses that you need to start using right now here in Madden 26, because you're going to be able to contain the quarterback if you use the two-man, and then you're still going to be able to get that great pressure right through the A gap, right, with the Texas four-man stunt. Alright, so if you found those first two defenses helpful, or you're going to start using them in your next game, make sure you go down below and that subscribe button. I break down the best defenses here in Madden 26 every single day that you need to be using, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want my full Jaguars or Vikings defensive ebook, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. It's going to go through the full write-up, screenshots, video breakdowns, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense here in Madden 26, and you're absolutely not going to miss out. But let's jump right back into the final three defenses. And that next defense I'm going to show you is one that absolutely nobody knows about, but it has a secret custom stunt that unlocks the whole scheme. Let me introduce you to the 3-3 load mug. Alright, so we're going to come into nickel 3-3 load mug. We're still going to make sure that we have auto flip defensive play turned off. Like I told you from dime 3-2, it's the same thing here because we want our slot corner to come out on the same side every time, regardless of where they put their slot receiver. But we're going to come in here, we're going to call the left pirate 3-man stunt, and what we're going to do is we're going to shift our defensive line to the left, and we're going to try to turbo engage with the offensive line. So what you're going to see is we are going to press D-pad up. We're actually going to stand right here as close to the center and the defensive tackle as possible, but we're going to press D-pad up, we're going to press right trigger, and we're going to press left stick down, because essentially what we're going to try to do is get the attention of this center. So boom, we're going to take the snap, get the attention of this center, and that's going to allow for that man to come in free off the edge, Armstead, right? Because of your stunt is really what's going to unlock that. Now, when you get engaged with that center, you need to make sure that you're spamming the A button as well to get off the block as quickly as possible. So D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap, spam the A button, and there it is. You're able to see how Armstead is going to be able to come in free. Now, it's not always him. Sometimes it's one of these other guys over here, but a lot of the time it is him because he just loops right through that gap. Josh Allen here, or excuse me, this defensive tackle, number 90, he's going to loop all the way around the offensive line. Sometimes he comes in free, but obviously if this guy's going to come in free, Armstead, then that other guy's not. So we just come in completely free right there, right through that B gap. We're going to shift our D-line. We're going to pass commit. We're going to stand directly right here over this center. D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, spam the A button. Try to get the attention, but you're able to see how right there, I don't even really get the attention of the center, but I'm still able to get really good pressure simply because I confuse the center just enough where this man isn't really blocking Armstead, right? You see this where he's not really blocking him, and he just ends up, he doesn't even shed him. He just pushes his way into the quarterback, and that's really the greatest advantage you have with custom stunts, is that sometimes you don't even shed these guys, you just have better angles, and so you're just going to be able to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. And again, you can do whatever you want as far as coverage. If you want to run a cover 2 on one side, you certainly have the ability, or you have a cover 2 here on the right side, but you could really do double cover 2 on both sides, right? And so again, just pass commit, turbo engage by pressing D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. Try to get the attention of the center. I do right here, and so that again allows for that man to come in free, and I'm spamming the A button to get off the block as quickly as possible and then get back into coverage. So kind of a simple stunt, a simple defense. Again, the left pirate 3-man custom stunts going to allow you to just get that really quick pressure, because again, you're creating a 4-on-3 advantage on the left side like we talk about all the time, and so that's just going to allow you to get that quick pressure. And again, the best part is you're back into coverage to lurk up the seam, to lurk over the middle of the field, or do whatever you really need to do in coverage. Alright, before I jump to those final 2 defenses that you're absolutely not going to miss out on, again, I wanted to remind you to go down below at that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking down defensive tips and tricks every single day on Madden 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of the content I have this year and in the future. So what are you thinking? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and join the community. Let's jump right into the final 2 defenses though. And that next one that I want to show you is one that's really taking over right now, again, because it's so dominant. The pro player Henry really made it known, and now it's one of the best defenses in the game. Let me introduce you to nickel 3-3 Cub. Alright, so when we come into 3-3 Cub, again, make sure you have the right defensive settings turned on, right? Right, the things that I talk about all the time: safety depth closed, curl flats 5, RP or defensive motion response disabled. But really what we're going to try to do here is, again, overload blitz them. So we're going to shift our defensive line to the left right here. We're going to drop our outside linebacker right here into a curl flat, and we're trying to utilize the D-pad switch stick. All right, so if you don't know what that is, you're switch sticking, but you're not going to do it with the right stick. The reason why you can't use the right stick and you have to use the D-pad is because your user's blitzing. If your user's in a blitz assignment, you have to do it with the D-pad. So again, we're just going to stand right here over this center right here, 2 yards back over his left shoulder, just about. And as soon as the ball gets snapped, you're pressing, like I said, the D-pad to the right to D-pad switch stick onto that outside linebacker. Now, ideally, you would like for him to be a pass coverage type of linebacker, just so that you have someone that you can actually lurk on, and you're not really worried about him being slow, clunky, can't can't move, bad zone coverage, anything like that, because you're trying to take over him, take control of him, and then get back over the middle of the field to do your work, whether it be taking away this dig route, whether they run someone out to the flat, really whatever it is, your job is to take that away. But you're able to see the pressure that you're able to get because, again, like I showed you from the last defense, 3-3 load bug, right, you're going to create the 4-on-3 advantage right here on this left side because your user is going to get the attention of the center. Right, so you get the attention of the center, these other two guys get the attention of the guard and tackle on this side, and that allows for the furthest guy on the left side to come in completely free. And so this is still a 5-on-5, right? This isn't like we're blitzing more people than they're blocking. We're just optimizing our defensive alignment, optimizing our defensive look in the best way possible to allow for a guy to come in free. We're not worried about anything on the right side. Actually, we're dropping one of our guys out on the left side, but we're going to just be able to get all that pressure off the left side because that's the side that we're really trying to take advantage of here. Now, 3-3 Cubs, so Mike put 0 as a symmetrical defense, so actually you could shift your D-line to the right and then drop the left linebacker out, but I've tested it. I just think shifting to the left is better and doing it in this way that I'm showing you right here. But we're going to set it up the same way. Always pass commit your defense. As always, drop that man out, D-pad switch it. But another thing I want you to notice is how fast I'm doing it. I'm doing it as soon as the ball gets snapped. Now, I'm snapping the ball, obviously, for the offense, so I know when the ball is going to be snapped. But literally, as soon as you see the ball is snapped in a real game, switch. Because you see right here how I'm already on to my guy over here before Trevor Lawrence even touches this ball, right? So before the quarterback even has the ball, I'm already out here on this man, right? Ball's still in the air right here. I'm switched onto him. And so now it's really like I'm starting to play on this guy. So you're getting the advantage of the overload blitz, of blitzing your user, but you're still back here into coverage immediately to be able to lurk and do whatever you want. Now, like I talk about a lot, you can either turn this into zone coverage behind it if you're really good with quick adjustments. You can make a lot of adjustments fast. You can certainly do that, or you can just run the man coverage variation because you're getting such quick pressure. It's going to be perfectly fine for you. So again, pass commit, shift that D-line to the left here. You're going to drop that man into a curl flat, and now what you're going to see is right here, they're going to even block their running back. But you're going to notice how even when they block their running back, it's still going to be a problem for them because running backs are going to just get punished at the point of attack by those pass rushers, by those outside linebackers. And so we're going to take the snap again, immediately D-pad switch it. Now you see how, Travis Etienne steps up to block that guy. My user is the guy that he ends up having to block this time. Credit to the line, they actually block it over here, but that still leaves your user to come in completely free, right? And so sometimes it's going to be that edge rusher, sometimes it's going to be the A-gap rusher, but you're just going to see how, boom, we're just easily able to go get that quarterback on the ground because he's just going to very quickly shed a running back. Also, though, if you know that they're going to be dropping that man or they're going to be blocking him, what you can do instead is just put this safety right here, Harrison Smith, in a hook curl. So you can put him in the zone, and now you can press D-pad up so that you're actually over the middle of the field instead of pressing it to the right. So take the snap, immediately press D-pad up now. You're going to see how, just look how fast that pressure is. They block their running back. We still come in free, and we're just able to punish that running back at the point of attack, especially if it's a smaller guy. But I press D-pad up this time instead, and so I'm back over here over the middle of the field to start the play. This is one of the craziest defenses in this game. I would honestly say this is like the best defense in this game. There's some other good ones that you can mix in that I'm showing you in this video, but this is one of the best ones that you need to start using. So that's how I would utilize Mike Blitz 0 from 3-3 Cub. One of the best defenses in the game. All right, and that last defense that I want to show you is going to absolutely annihilate empty protection. As we know, base protection is the most common in the game, but what about when they switch to empty protection, BLT? Let me show you exactly the blitz that you want to start using when they go to that. Alright, so we're going to come into nickel through the odd right here, and we are going to scroll down until we find our blitz, which is going to be linebacker cross 3 show 2. Alright, so really what you're going to see right here is you're going to user this 3-rep hook defender. Alright, and so you're going to shift your shift your linebackers to the right. Now I touched this guy, so he would run down here. It'll happen in the next play, but you're going to shift your linebacker to the right, so now your linebacker right here is going to be in this contain, all right? And so now you're going to have hard flats on the field, and my favorite thing, honestly, about this blitz in particular is that, it's obviously going to work against empty protection, but you notice how all the other defenses and all the other blitzes, you have to do something with your user with the offensive line to affect them. You don't have to do that with this blitz, which is what makes it so good. So you can literally only have to focus on pass coverage. And so really you're disguising kind of where your user is before the snap. And so really what you're going to see is they're going to use empty protection, and it's so rare that you just see that type of really fast pressure right through the A gap. So you're just going to see, we look at the instant replay right here, boom, we just are able to just run right through this A gap. And so you're able to see, I mean, like, it's the reason why it works is because this man right here goes to double team outside. So he goes to double team someone else, and that's what allows for this man to come in free. And like I said, this is really great against empty protection. So how you would know if they're in empty versus base protection is you're probably going to start the game calling like single mug or calling like 3-3 cub or load mug. And if they start blocking those blitzes very routinely, maybe you have that suspicion that they're going to empty protection to do it, because those are a lot better against base. So now if they're going to go to empty protection, that's when you deploy this defense, right? And so really you probably don't want to use this on like 3rd or 4th down, especially if they have like threat detector and franchise or mutt. But like especially early in games, early in downs, you're just going to use this. I also wouldn't move before the play just so that you can disguise your 3-back hook, so that you can disguise who you're using. But pass commit your defense, they're going to take the snap, and you're just going to see it how it's going to be time and time again. Literally all you have to do, user over the middle of the field. And as we know, A-gap pressure is the worst type of pressure to get as an offensive player. And so you're just going to see how, I mean, that's going to be same thing as last time, right? You shift you shift the linebackers to the right to be able to get this man right here and to contain. They double team for no reason over here. So it's going to take some more adequate, some better pass protection, some pass protection adjustments for this to end up working, for them to be able to block this. But they go to empty protection this time. They're going to block their halfback, maybe because they think that's the answer to this. But we're going to pass commit our defense right here. And so, boom, we're just going to take the snap. And you're just going to notice how, okay, ETN, credit to him, steps up, but he just gets shedded so fast. And, you know, just so quickly that it's almost like he's not blocking, right? Being able to have your running back get out in the play quickly to hit a check down or whatever is a valuable asset. But obviously when they block their halfback, that pretty much gets rid of that. So empty protection right here, block to running back, and you're just going to see it how, again, there's a flame icon over the top of his head, which really means the line's telling you that man's going to come in free. And so then that just forces the running back to have to step up to block him. You can just use her over the middle of the field. And so ETN blocks, he gets shedded very quickly, and then the quarterback goes down in a hurry. So you got to have an entire defensive package, right? Either from the Vikings playbook, Jaguars playbook, whatever defensive playbook you're using. But I've showed you 5 pretty good defenses just for you to mix in. Single mug, 3-3 odd, right? Dime 3-2 when they're using base protection. And then this is the defense, linebacker, cross 3 show 2 with this setup to utilize when they go to empty protection instead. All right, so if you enjoyed that breakdown of the top 5 defenses here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day on Madden 26, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the content that I have. But again, if you want my full Vikings or Jaguars defense ebook with all of the different plays that I showed you in this video in written form for you to save on your phone and reference during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee to transform your defense, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.